we've taken a look at the Ender 3. Let's go a little bit bigger. This is a generic CR-10v3 as far as I can tell. Let's get into it. Hey, thanks again for joining us. If you remember back, we unboxed and looked at an Ender 3v2, and I was pleasantly surprised considering what we paid, and quite frankly, my expectations were set kind of low on that one. But we'll card to that video somewhere right above me. This is not a CR-10v3, although it should be. It is a Pyramid A1 Titan, which as far as I can tell is a CR-10v3. The first part of this video is going to be actually after I've unboxed this thing. That way, if you are looking to buy one, of course, links to it will be in the description down below. Affiliate, because it helps our channel grow. And then afterwards, we will get to that beautiful unboxing so you can see all the pain or all the fun that I go through. This is the ToAuto Pyramid A1.1 Titan. It is effectively a CR-10v3. It is okay. I'm gonna give it an okay score. I've yet to print with it. It did not come with any stock G-code, but we will print with it shortly, so stay tuned for that time lapse. It'll literally be right after I'm done talking about it. At 250 bucks, which is what we bought it for, I believe it hangs out around the 300 range right now. At 250, there are some egregious problems that I really, yeah, I can't look past. It does not sound an alarm for thermal runaway. Yes, it shuts off the heaters, which is great. I'm glad that it does that. However, it doesn't do anything else. You won't know. And the board is not all silent steppers. It is just the XY that are silent. The Z and the E axes are not. And while those don't move very fast or move very much, these are corners that I don't like to see being cut. I like that it came with all the tools you needed. The clippers are nice. The little scraper ain't bad. The micro SD card is going to be absolute and utter garbage, but you know, otherwise it ain't bad. I think building the Ender 3 previously helped out a lot here, but we still have, I'm checking my time, about an hour and 15 minutes on the build total. So not too bad. I like that it's got a filament sensor. It says that it has resume printing, so power loss detection. We're gonna test that for the benchy, but you know, the build plate size, the fact that it's a direct drive, it's not like you can clearly see a Bowden tube, so don't tell me it's direct drive. It's close, but it's not pure direct drive. It's using a generic Titan from E3D, so it's a clone of the Titan extruder. There are some nice qualities of life. The filament sensor is really nice. I mean, it's all on printed parts, so it may not be long for this world. I like the red touches. I know that's just kind of weird, but it's anodized red or powder-coated. Powder-coated. It's powder-coated red, which they have to pay extra for. And so if you have to pay extra to make it red, why don't you pay extra for a little bit nicer drivers, screws that are the right size, and things like that? Overall, the build experience could have been worse. I've certainly dealt with worse, but I've certainly dealt with better. But you know, it even comes with a spare end stop switch, and I can't fault that, man. So we're gonna get this print rolling here, and then I will do some final thoughts. It also definitely, yeah, the concentric nuts need to be tightened because that wheel spins freely. But you know, dual Z, which is really nice. That was unexpected. I did not expect to have 2 Z lead screws. Ran into a little bit of problem, but that was more my fault than anything else, so that's okay. I'm gonna let that one go. I think if you need a big print area, you don't mind putting some work into it, and just know that you need to have auto leveling on it, just do it. Do it, put auto leveling on it, stop, I know a lot of you say, oh, I only level my printer once and I never have to touch it. Guess what? That's not like the vast majority of people. Auto leveling is gonna cost you like 65 bucks or something like that from TH3D, or like 40 bucks from Pyroball, but Pyroball PCBs is definitely for the higher end. So if you wanna see me install one of those, we're gonna do it at some point, but let me know if you wanna see it on this machine. Leave a comment below and we'll take a look. But you know, I've certainly had worse experiences in this industry, so this isn't that bad. I will say it's really loud. The fan on the motherboard is very, very, very loud. Loud to the point where it's kind of annoying. So I think if I was going to use this printer long term, which our plan is to, we're going to upgrade the crap out of it for the channel. We're going to show it off. This is going to be ended up being compared to a Mark III's. So the goal for this is to put a little bit of cash into it, see if we can directly compete with an MK3S in speed, quality, reliability, and features. If we can do that, sweet. We're going to find out. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to replace that damn fan. That fan is terribly loud, and that stuff's pretty easy to fix. But yeah, not the thermal runaway I was hoping for. It does stop heating, from what I can tell, but it doesn't warn you, and that is kind of a problem. The touchscreen is nice, but you can see it's already covered in fingerprints, which is going to drive me up the wall. Could be worse. It's not a bad interface. I don't like the firmware, so I would look at reflashing it. Maybe Gyres or somebody has a firmware built for, this is effectively a CR-10. And I think if you flashed it as a CR-10, it likely wouldn't know the difference. So, anyways, that's my thoughts on this. I'd love to know your thoughts down in those comments below. Let's get to that time lapse. Let's get this bad boy open. We have a new unboxing knife. Sometimes I get a little bit concerned of the safety of these printers. And what you actually expect in the box is actually not what you get. There are a lot of printed parts on this printer. Like, a lot of printed parts. More printed parts than I feel reasonably necessary. I'm glad that these cheaper printers are starting to come with ball and hex keys, because it really does make the entire process a whole lot easier. Am I right on the first try? No, I am not. That one was smaller. Is it really this big one? No, it doesn't fit. They do not give you the right size hex key. You can make the big one work, which is exactly what I'm going to do, but it is not the right size, to be frank. So now the question is, what the heck goes where? And from looking at the photos, I can make some determinations here that this piece is supposed to go. No? And what side? This is all very, very unclear. When you install the X carriage, make certain that you have a belt on the inside before you install the V wheels, or it's not going to fit. Ask me how I know. By the way, if you like content like this, make sure you get subscribed. We are doing a buy one, get one free 3D printer coming really soon, where you think that's a great deal until you realize the free printer is a return. So I have no idea what's in one of those boxes. One of them is definitely an Ender 3 clone. The other one is a return. So it could be a hunk of junk. Could be a hunk of burning love. I guess we'll find out. $250 bucks. I mean, even if it really sucks, I can make it not suck for not too much extra. And by me, I mean probably Brad. Brad's one of our local staffers. And if you don't know about Brad, Brad has his own episode of the podcast. It'll be episode 10. We'll card to it if you guys want to go check it out. It's Brad and his wish. It was back in the dark ages of 3D Musketeers when we first had a podcast and we had no idea what we were doing. That was back right when we rebranded. That was a long time ago. Ah! It wants you to put the filament on the top. We talked about this on the Under 3 video. I am probably gonna try to put it right there. Maybe right here. Somewhere where it doesn't have to be all the way on the top. And I said that on the Under 3 video and it never worked out. I'm gonna see if I can get it to work out on this video. I think this build is going better because I've already done the Ender 3. So something to note, I mean, if you've already done something like this before, the second build probably not going to be all that bad. All right, it wants us to install the, where is it? This thing. We, however, are not going to pay attention to that. We are going to install that somewhere like this. I don't want it to get in the way of the extruder, and it won't. All right. We'll install it right there. Like I said in the Ender 3 video, although with this one, because of the stability rods, it probably won't be that bad. Oh, you know what? With the direct drive, yeah, you'll want it up top. I did the same thing with the Ender 3. I installed it somewhere, and I said, well, you know, it's still not good to have it up here. Like, I still don't think this is the best place for it. But it'll work. So for those that haven't seen it, the wires need to be on the top side, not the bottom side. That is an absolute oopsie on my side, but I also think, you know, should totally not be something that should happen. If it's in the instructions, my idiot brain missed it. But all we're gonna do here is we're gonna pop it off of this side. All right, so we got both these screws out. Looks like we do, which should, if I'm lucky, enable me to kind of all right, that worked. All right, so there you go. I mean, if you make the same dumb mistake I did, I want to bring this all the way up. I want to make sure that I have enough to go all the way up. Can I just like? Ah, you can apparently pull that out. That's exactly what you want, I guess. Because I'm sorry, but this cannot be floppy all the time like that. But it literally has to be. What the actual... All right, we're ready for first power on. Let's do it. That's loud. Boy, that fan is real loud. Don't know if my mic picks that up, but it is really loud. So we're gonna go to home, all. Let's see what happens. Silent board. This is not. This is definitely not a silent board. This is actually one of the loudest printers that I own. I'm not proud of that. The printer is not signaling thermal runaway. Now, I want to see if... but it is not letting me heat things up. Let's see if it does now. As soon as I pull this out... No way. No way. No, 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 no. Ah! It does not have thermal runaway. Okay, so it's not letting me add temperature to the heat bed. So it did turn it off. But it's not signaling thermal runaway. Really, well, what it should be doing is showing me min temp error. As soon as I plug that back in, that's fine. I'm gonna add some to the extrusion. You can see the red light turning on for the MOSFET. That red light means it's heating. We're gonna unplug that cable, goes to the hot end. If that red light turns out immediately, then it works. There it goes. Okay, so the printer knows that something is wrong. And it instantly turned off the heat. I will take that as better than nothing. It is, however, not ideal. And there you have it. A CR-10v3. Print is... It's okay. As to be expected, untuned profiles, very stock. It is louder than I expected, but not for the printing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The freaking fans are crazy loud. With a printer this big, you really do want to have mesh bed leveling, and don't worry, we're going to be doing that real soon. We're going to test filament runout, and to do that, we're literally just going to cut the filament. And yes, this filament is crap. I don't like it, never have liked it. And what we're going to do is during the print, we're going to cut the filament. We're going to see if the filament runout sensor works. And then, once we get the filament put back into it, of course, we're going to pull the power cord. Now, power loss detection generally only works when you pull the power cord versus turning off the switch. So we're going to pull the power cord and see if this thing actually has power loss detection. The entire cable for the extruder is dragging on the heat bed. That is not what I want to see. That means you're exposing those cables, the tech flex and all of that, to whatever temperature your bed is. And on a printer like this, according to the manual, it is capable of doing 110 degrees centigrade on the bed. I don't know about you, I don't really feel comfortable having my cables touching that. You know, like the first layer looks pretty decent. Certainly can't complain about it. Neither of the cameras are likely going to pick it up, but the first layer does look pretty good. With that being said, the bed adhesion was not great on the last print, so all right. It's going through. Let's see what happens. Hey! Hilariously, it will beep and yell at you when it's out of filament, but it won't beep and yell at you for thermal runaway. We're going to unload. That was a very violent push, and I think, yep, it failed to unload the filament. Might have just broke the filament sensor, but like, you know, when your printer says, hey, I'm out of filament. This happened to me earlier too, when I was trying to unload the filament. It ends up with this big glob on it. Quality. If this printer's going to alarm for when it's out of filament, but it's not going to alarm for thermal runaway, we've got ourselves a problem here. Now, mind you, I said before, I don't like the firmware that's on this machine, so we're probably going to reflash it anyways, where I can enable all of these things. Now, I don't want to do this. Clearly, it's not what I want to do. But as soon as we put on a bed probe anyways, we're going to have to reflash the printer. Hilariously, the printer comes with new firmware already on the SD card because it is compatible with the BL Touch. So it does come with the BL Touch firmware, but it is absent, as far as I can tell, of a mounting location for said BL Touch. Now, since this printer wants a BL Touch, maybe we'll go with the BL Touch first, and I also happen to have those in stock. Maybe we can compare that to an inductive probe, or a capacitive probe, I guess is the correct term, like a TH3D. So, we're printing. Let's say there's a Florida thunderstorm. Hold on, here's the lightning. Lightning, thunder, bang! And power failure. Oh, but you know what? It was just a flicker. It was just a flicker. It's just a flicker. Let's see if you remember. It says booting. Every single time it beeps, the screen says booting. Your manual states that you have power loss detection and resume. The fact that you're stuck in a boot loop determined that was a lie. Welp, if you're gonna buy this printer, make sure you put it on a battery backup because it does not have power loss detection, and as soon as it gets power back on, it's gonna do that. And I don't know if I want to be woken up in the middle of the night to this. I don't know about you, but I sure as heck don't. Mind you, you should not run 3D printers unattended, especially ones at these price points. Don't be stupid. Okay, so it's trying to do some form of power loss detection. What it's doing, I have not a freaking clue. So don't expect this to have power loss detection. Your mileage may vary. Yeah, I mean, kind of bummed that it says that it does something and it definitely doesn't. This is one of the crappiest fake Titans I have ever seen in my life, but it's still serviceable, so meh. Overall, we paid $250 for this on sale. I can't really be too mad. This is easily $250 worth of 3D printer, but at $350, you're expecting it to do what it says, and it doesn't. Do I like this printer as a business? Absolutely not. It is unreliable, unsafe, and quite frankly, no. As a hobbyist, do I like it? Absolutely, and I'm glad that I paid $250 for it. If I paid $350, I would probably be a little bit upset. It's just a big Ender 3. It does have 2 lead screws, which is nice. It's got dual Z-axis, so can't knock that. But you know, the power supply is fake. The touchscreen is kind of janky, and so many freaking fingerprints. TLDR, not a bad printer, as long as you're a hobbyist. I'd love to know your thoughts down in those comments. That's all I got on this. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. What do you think, Victoria? Do you like cheap Chinese 3D printers?
I don't know.
She's unsure. And so he's back. The Pothos is here. We finally remembered to bring him in. He enjoyed his little stint outside. We actually clipped some pieces of him, and he's hanging out in the various fish tanks throughout the house, so he will be back soon in full glory. It's a living plant. Give me a break here. Actually, Pothos don't like being outside in Florida unless they're under trees. The more you know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Right below me is going to be the Ender 3 playlist, and next to it is going to be a video perfectly handpicked just for you. Make sure you get subscribed, leave a like. I will see you down in the comments. Take care.